To avoid confusion, I'll be calling stargates open via the third eye water doors. There is a very good reason for this, which we'll touch on shortly. The symbolism for the opening of water doors is basically identical to that of the stargate. The water door opens, allowing your consciousness to leave this reality and enter another, or vice versa. An entity from a parallel reality can come into you via your water door, which, in truth, if you wish to avoid all subtleties, is possession. And these are just some of the symbols used to illustrate the possession process. And there are, of course, others, but this will be adequate for now. So, what is with the water doors? What exactly is the pineal stargate got to do with water? Well, we know roughly what the third eye is for. It is, in a sense, a doorway that allows consciousness to travel in or out of the body. But what's with the H2O? Well, this is in all likelihood due to the fact that the interior of the pineal gland is filled with water. The pineal gland has the highest blood flow of any gland in the body, and therefore the highest concentration of energy in the body. The water within the pineal gland contains molecules called microclusters. These microclusters can flip inside out and become waveforms, meaning that they can flip from space-time to time-space. This makes perfect sense as to why the pineal gland acts as a gateway between the realities. The pineal gland also releases a chemical called dimethyltryptamine, or DMT for short. This chemical appears to hyperaccelerate electromagnetic activity in the gland. DMT is released during sleep and in vast amounts at the point of death. Various psychedelics force the gland to release DMT, which is potentially dangerous as the pineal can become stuck even while awake. The result of the pineal being stuck on can lead to schizophrenia, which means basically you'll be constantly in tune with frequencies and levels of reality that you would be unable to perceive otherwise. You'd have no control over it. So the pineal gland is a door and it is full of water, hence the name water door. Now, with this in mind, we can make sense of a few things. For a start, this Freemasonic depiction. We can see here the checkered pattern of polarity either side of the water, and G is obviously for gate in between the 10 posts, and the number 10 is the number of the hermaphrodite, or once again polarity, which is the key to the gate. And as you can see, the gate is hovering above the water, symbolising a water gate or water door. Knowing what the water is symbolic of, we can deduce that the images of beings rising from the water is synonymous with beings entering through the pineal gland or water door, or possession, if you want to cut straight to the chase. The same can be said for beings, human or otherwise, rising from a pyramid or coming out of an X. And let's not forget from between the pillars of Jacques and Boaz, or anything checkered in general. Here we can see Dre in the Nexus, and then in front of the water door, giving the impression that he's just come through the water door. Now, remember that they are using us to manifest the realities of their choosing and manipulate archetypal forces that exist within our consciousness to shape us in their image. Again, hell-like imagery is shown, giving us a clue as to what it is they want us to manifest. These beings, be it demonic or otherwise, come through the water door and into the chakra system, otherwise known as Jacob's ladder, or the 7-rung ladder. They are making a transition by doing this called the flaming sword, or 777. This phenomena is captured on a variation of the first-degree Freemasonic trace symbol, where blue beings are depicted descending down Jacob's ladder from Sirius. Now, blue is universally the colour of the infinite, but it has also been suggested by the Hashem's Films team that the blue beings are anti-world beings, and I happen to agree with this, as, like they point out, if you invert an image or look at the negative of a picture or a person, it will be blue. Now, that's not to suggest that I think beings from a parallel universe are actually blue, but more so that beings that are blue are being used in art and entertainment to convey a message, be it subliminal or otherwise. And the message is that these beings are representative or avatars for parallel beings of some kind, be it demons, jinn, or anything else of that nature. Blue beings are everywhere. The entertainment industry, antiquity, religion. So, to examine some religious examples, for a start, there are Hindu gods, Vishnu and Shiva, who are both blue. And let's not forget the swastika Stargate symbol that has long been used by the Hindu religion. There's Krishna, often seen as a baby on the checkered floor. Checkered is, of course, Stargate symbolism. From one blue being on the checkered floor to another, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, almost always depicted around checkered patterns of some kind or another, predominantly the checkered floor. And Sonic also travels to different realms and realities. So, what about Hollywood and TV in general? Well, as the Hollywood sorcerers wave their magic wands, or more accurately, checkered clapboards, and cast their spells, movies, programs, comics, cartoons, there's much to consider. X-Men, for example, features blue beings. The Watchmen, adapted from graphic novel written by occultist Alan Moore, who also wrote Double Cross featuring and Crowley quoting V for Vendetta. Watchmen features blue beings. Pinhead from the Hellraiser films is more on the white side, but often shown in blue light, giving the impression that he is in fact blue. And interestingly, he is from a parallel universe opened by the puzzle box or cube Stargate. And remember, he's in the blue light because the parallel world that he's from is represented by blue, as I showed you earlier in the video for the Eurythmics song Sweet Dreams and the Madonna song Bedtime Story, which showed the same concept. The Grudge features blue beings in the form of ghosts. And the original television adaptation of Stephen King's Salem's Lot, which is about vampires, features a blue being in the form of Ed Vampire Barlow, and we're going to look more at Salem's Lot later on. The antagonist from He-Man cartoon, Skeletor, is obviously blue. And who can forget the Smurfs, perhaps the most famous of the blue beings. The film Lair of the White Worm contains much in the way of serpent symbolism and a character called Sylvia, who is a blue being. The Islamic term for these beings is jinn, and it is likely that the term genie originates from this word. Not surprising then that the genie in Aladdin is blue. And to further add to this, the symbol of the lamp is, amongst illuminated fraternities, a symbol of illumination. The name and logo Duke Blue Devils speaks for itself. An old poster for Sesame Street, dated October 1976, features blue creature from the show standing between the Twin Towers, destroying them. Now, the sun being eclipsed in the background could hold ritualistic significance. The Blue Man Group, three men who paint themselves blue, can be seen on a poster for the Luxor, towering over the Luxor Pyramid in all of Vegas, opening the Luxor Stargate. And each of the blue men holds a pyramid, while the blue man in the middle aims his pyramid down at the beam of light. And this beam of light emanates directly from the top of the Luxor, forming the obviously familiar by now Stargate symbol. As if to confirm this, the beams of light being projected form the symbol again in the sky. Disney flick Monsters Inc. features a walking eye and its big blue furry companion. The monsters in the film feed from the energy of fear. What a surprise. An eye with a furry companion seems almost certainly to be a reference to Horus and the sometimes depicted as blue Thoth. Thoth was one of the more important deities of the Egyptian pantheon. The images of Thoth, most commonly known, are a man with the head of an ibis and a man with the head of a baboon. Thoth has other names, one of which is his Greek counterpart, Hermes. Thoth is the credited author of the Emerald Tablets, which teach as above, so below, sacred geometry, cosmic consciousness, etc. And basically, the Emerald Tablets are the foundations for alchemists and all Hermetic traditions. Hermetic, of course, referring to Hermes. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth date back to the 10th century BC, and Thoth identifies himself as an Atlantean, and we know that Atlantis is symbolic of higher consciousness. The Emerald Tablets have much to offer us. I find this portion of the text concerning serpents to be fascinating, all things considered. Far in the past, before Atlantis existed, men there were who delved into darkness using dark magic, calling up beings from the great deep below us. Forth came they into this cycle, formless were they of another vibration, existing unseen by the children of earthmen. Only through blood could they have formed being. Through man could they live in the world. In ages past they were conquered by masters, driven below to the place where they came. But some there were who remained, hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but at times they appeared among men. Aye, when the blood was offered, for they came to dwell among men. In the form of man they amongst us, but only to sight were they our men. Serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to men as men among men. Crept they into the councils, taking forms that were like unto men, slaying by their arts the chiefs of the kingdom, taking their form and ruling over men. Only by magic could they be discovered, only by sound could their faces be seen. Sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. But know ye the masters were mighty in magic, able to lift the veil from the face of the serpent, able to send him back to his place. Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only a man can pronounce. Swift then they lifted the veil from the serpent and cast him forth from the place among men. Yet beware, the serpent still liveth in a place that is open at times to the world unseen. They walk among thee in places where the rites have been said. Again, as time passes onward, shall they take the semblance of men. Another interesting passage from the book reads, Know ye that earth is but a portal, guarded by powers unknown to man. Yet the dark lords hide the entrance that leads to heaven-born land. Know ye the way to the sphere of Arlu is guarded by barriers open only to light-born man. Upon earth I am the holder of the keys to the gates of the sacred land. Command I by the powers beyond me to leave the keys to the word of man, or the world of man. Further on, the tablets state, Aye, though man may fall into darkness, always the light will shine as a guide, hidden in darkness, veiled in symbols, always the way to the portal will be found. Man in the future will deny the mysteries, but always the way the seeker will find. Now I command ye to maintain my secrets, given only to those ye have tested, so that only the pure may not be corrupted, so that the power of truth may prevail. And then in the 15th Emerald Tablet it states, First I shall speak of the fetters of darkness which bind ye in chains to the sphere of the earth. Darkness and light are both of one nature, different only in seeming, for each arose from the source of all. Darkness is disorder, light is order. Darkness transmutated is light of the light. This, my children, is your purpose in being transmutation from darkness to light. Further on, the tablets say that on earth, man is in bondage, bound by space and time. To the earth plane, encircling each planet, a wave of vibration binds him to his place of unfoldment. Yet within man is the key to releasement. Within man may freedom be found.